Hi folks, it's Audrey. How are you? So, as I've said before, I'm a healer, transformational catalyst, a spiritual therapist, and artist, and the author of the amazing book, The Mother's Manual, a spiritual and practical guide to child rearing and motherhood, and the book that is free for all of you, The Mother's Manual Sampler, which you can get at www.themothersmanual.com. It will be, the sampler will be ready by December, and we're intending the Mother's Manual, all 750 pages of it, to be ready by February. Even if it's ready by January, Mercury is retrograde, and I will refrain from releasing a book under a retrograde Mercury. Today, however, we are discussing healing and lifting one's vibrations, or one's vibes. So, we are made of energy. By now, just about everybody knows that. And for anyone who thinks we're only physical, surprise, we're not. That's simply the most dense body of which we are made. We are mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, and they are all united. And part of what we can do as individuals and as a species is literally help choose the vibration at which we are going to live and at which we operate. So, even the Earth is shifting its frequency. It's called the Schumann resonance, and even that is shifting. Everything right now in our galaxy is moving a little faster. The sun is even getting hotter. For those of you who look at this, we as the Earth is getting closer to the center of the galaxy. That's this whole thing everyone's talking about. Well, most people are talking about 12/21/2012. We're not going to talk about that in this segment, but at another time I will. So, how do we shift our frequency vibration? How does one do that? Well, I'm going to tell you. Part of how you do it, anyone does it, and I'm someone who does it and works on it with myself, and even though I'm a healer and clients come to see me, I also work with other people and we facilitate each other. But part of how a person does this is literally to clear their emotions that have gotten stuck. Anything that the person is still feeling angry about, upset about, resentful about, miserable about, sad about, mourning about, anything that's other than loving is something that's holding their vibration more densely, and holding them back from having a higher vibration. Because we have been here many times before. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with the concept of past lives, let's use it as an allegory rather than getting into an ontological debate about what's real and what's not real. Let's just say we have lived at various frequencies in parallel universe and parallel times. And in case some of you don't know, even scientists have said that there are parallel universes. So, we, in this moment, in this here, in this now, in this here-now moment, to really lift and live at the highest frequency possible, need to have our energetic body shifted. And part of the ways to do that is by meditating, by praying, by going to the still, quiet, silent space within, and listening to the divine guidance that we all have. Now, this is very different than the chatterbox, the internal dialogue, the junk, the garbage that everyone has inside them that tells them they're less than, not good enough, too fat, too skinny, too tall, too short, too stupid, too this, or not enough. You're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not handsome enough, you're not whatever it is. That's not what I'm referring to. That's the garbage. That's the one you turn down the volume. And how do you do that? You can pretend that it's a CD. You can pretend it's anything that has volume and you turn it down. And or when it does its nya 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 stuff and you actually you might find yourself like engaging it and talking with it, like it makes sense, like you have to defend yourself or something. Simply say to it, thank you for sharing, and now bye-bye. Or as I have told my clients and myself, you could say thank you for sharing. Now it's time for you to go to the realm of healing and light and see it surrounded with divine living light and leaving you. And in its space made available within you, because in this third dimension there are no vacuums, then you fill yourself with living love light. How? You ask and you allow. Now, I'm just going to look and see. I want to make sure I'm covering some of what I intended to cover. Oh, understand that all of us are the creators of our life. We are actually co-creators with what I like to sometimes call MC, the main creator, the divine, God, Goddess, Source, Allah, Great Spirit, Shekinah, whatever you call it, the great mystery, Aludamari. There's umpteen, thousands, gazillion words to call the great mystery that we're all part of. When we align ourselves with our higher self by asking to be lifted, then we can live a life that really is amazing. And when we listen to the inner guidance, which again is completely different than the internal dialogue, when I was told by the inner guidance some years back to start a TV show, honestly, I thought my guides were crazy. I said nope, because I was intensely shy. I could not even imagine doing that. Then I discovered public access and I did it, and now, lo and behold, here I am on YouTube speaking to you. So when Divine Spirit speaks, it is important for us to answer. Now, if you're going to ask, is it always easy? No, it isn't. However, it'll grow us, and what it grows us into is who we really are, the very inner heart. It's like seeing a little baby, an infant, and then expecting the infant to go and paint a glorious painting. Can't, it's an infant, but it's in that person if that's what their talent is. So the divine guidance awakens within us what is in us to share, to be, to do, and to experience. And I will tell you this, when somebody really listens and gets help and support, because we are in the age of Aquarius now, we have our feet in it, nobody does it all by themselves. Nobody. So you create circles of consultants, you create groups, one creates and is part of many different communities that foster and empower each other's growth. Now, do I have time to do a little segment? Can I teach something?
Good. Minute and a half.
Minute and a half. All right, so what I'm going to teach you is a very simple process that was taught to me by an amazing healer and teacher called Patricia Hayes when I studied with her at her center. Now she has Delphi University in Georgia. The simplest way is to simply say and allow, get seated in a comfortable position with clothing that's loose, and say internally, I'm getting higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. Your intention is to lift your energies to the spiritual realm. Higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. Higher and lighter and freer. And allow your energy to open. Now practice that, and then please get in touch with me. And you can do so at moonmystic22@AOL.com. That's MOONMYSTIC22@AOL.com. And to get your free copy of the Mother's Manual Sampler, which will be out in December, please go to www.themothersmanual.com and www.goddessheart.org. Thank you.